Hello everyone. It's sad that we can't be together for our Good Friday Exploring the Easter Story service this year. I know that many of you engaged in making palm crosses out of paper, and I thought that it would be good if I taught you how to tell the Easter story using just one A4 sheet of paper. So if you pause the video now, go off to get your A4 sheet of paper, and then we can get started. So Jesus went to the big city of Jerusalem for the very last time. It was the time of the Jewish feast of the Passover, and there were people in the city from many different lands. People were expecting Jesus to arrive as a king. But when he came into the city, he wasn't riding on a big white horse or being carried by soldiers. He was riding on a donkey, and it wasn't even his. He'd borrowed it. But still, people cut down palm branches and they waved them, which is a sign of kings. On the Monday and the Tuesday and the Wednesday, Jesus went to the temple to pray. And each night he went back to the Mount of Olives with the disciples. And the people watched and they whispered. And the soldiers said, "On Thursday we will take him." But on Thursday they couldn't find Jesus and the disciples anywhere. And that evening they made their way through the dark streets to a narrow house. They went through the door and they climbed the steps to an upper room where they would spend their last supper together. Now Jesus surprised his friends by taking a jug and a bowl of water and washing their feet in an act of love and service to them. They ate all they wanted, and then they sang a hymn. And then Jesus surprised them again by taking a cup of wine and thanking God for it, and saying something like, "Whenever you share wine like this, I will be there." And then he took some bread and thanked God for it. And he broke it and said something like, "Whenever you share bread like this, I will be there." They didn't understand what he was talking about, but they'd remember, and eventually they would understand. Now Judas got up from the table and left. Jesus knew that Judas was going to betray him, but the others didn't. They went back with Jesus to the Mount of Olives, and Jesus asked his friends to watch while he prayed. When he came back, Judas came out of the shadows and greeted Jesus, and that was the sign to the soldiers who came out of the darkness and took Jesus away, and the disciples disappeared into the night. Now that night was a really confusing one because Jesus was placed on trial and he was found guilty, even though it was clear that he'd done absolutely nothing wrong. And that night, Jesus was tortured. The following day, he was taken outside the city walls and he was placed on a cross. And that afternoon, Jesus died. The sky went dark. Jesus' body was taken down from the cross and placed in a tomb. And a stone was rolled across the entrance like a door. On the Saturday, it was so quiet, you could almost hear the earth breathing. On the Sunday, it was the women who went to the tomb. They just wanted to be close to Jesus, even though it was sad. But when they got there, they found that the stone had been rolled away. Jesus had died on the cross, but somehow he was still with them. Jesus died on the cross, but somehow he's still with us and brings us new life. And that's the mystery of Easter, and it's that makes all the difference. Do let us know how you get on with this, and why not tell the Easter story to someone else using just a sheet of A4 paper. On Easter Day, we'd love it if you would decorate your crosses with symbols of new life and hope, perhaps using flowers, rainbows, eggs, whatever you choose, and using whatever materials you choose. But do take a photograph of your creation and post the photograph on our Facebook page. Amen.